Hey guys, thanks for popping into this video. I have a bunch of information that I want to share with you about specifically around leadership in the context of marriage, why I'm so passionate about that, and why it's really the only thing that you can do to ultimately save your marriage. So I'm going to show you, I have, 3 or 4 videos in this series I want to give you, and one is going to build upon the other. And our very first starting place to really understand this concept that I love teaching guys. And it's the concept that is ultimately going to save your relationship. I can't emphasize that enough. This concept of relational leadership, the man taking responsibility for this as a mindset, it's the only way out, I promise you. I'm saying that as a couples therapist who's been working with couples for 2 decades. I've seen thousands of people. I know exactly what works and I know what doesn't. If you're listening to this video, I bet that you're in a really tough place inside your relationship. Something's not working right. There's tension, there's conflict. Your wife is upset with you. You're upset with your wife. Maybe you're even at a place where you're like, I don't even know if I want to be married. So if that's you, this is the video that you need to watch. And I want to start this video by talking about a mindset problem. And it's a mindset problem that has been promoted by our culture. And the mindset problem is this: in order to have a great relationship, each person has to do their part. You've heard that, right? You've heard that sentiment that in order for a relationship to be successful, it requires 2 people. You, listener, watching this video, I want to tell you that that is objectively wrong. You can absolutely have the most epic relationship. You can transform your relationship with just one person, if that's you. It can't be your wife, and I'm going to explain why that can't be in another video. So we're going to break down the 50-50 mindset. I call it the 50-50 mindset. And that's just this mindset where I'm going to do 50% and she's going to do 50%. And as long as both of us are doing our 50%, then things are going to be okay. Let me explain to you why that is the worst mindset that we can have in our relationship. Okay, so number one, what it creates is a scorecard. It creates this mechanism that is totally unconscious and hidden inside the relationship, but it basically says, well, if I do this, you need to do this. If I do X, you need to do Y. So it creates this invisible scorecard that leaves people monitoring what the other person is doing or is not doing. The 50-50 mindset is the mindset that kills most marriages. Okay, I want you to hear me say that. It's the mindset that kills most marriages. And throughout these videos that I'm going to share with you, I'm going to talk a lot about relational leadership. And something that is really important to understand is that in order to have a great marriage, you have to see yourself as the leader inside your relationship. And great leaders don't have a 50-50 mindset inside their marriage. I was having this conversation with my wife the other day about this concept, about how 50-50 doesn't work. And she's like, well, what is the ratio? I said, it's 100-0. 100-0. I see myself as 100% responsible for the success of my relationship. Now, naturally, you're listening to me, you're going to say, well, doesn't your wife have to do anything? Like, isn't that a weird thing? Like, she doesn't have any culpability or any responsibility to the relationship? No, of course she does. And we're going to get to that in later videos. But the starting place is developing this mindset. The reason we have to get out of the 50-50 mindset is because it creates the blame game. It creates the power struggle. When we have the 50-50 mindset, we start looking at the other person and we say, well, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you haven't done anything. So then I'm going to start backing off. And it creates this scarcity mindset inside of a relationship. Instead of showing up with tons of generosity, we show up in a scarcity minded way. So this is a mindset problem, and it's a mindset problem that is promoted in our culture. We tell people all the time that, they need to do their part and that a relationship can't work unless the other person does their part. It creates this scarcity minded belief system in people that they think as long as my partner would do her 50%, that everything would be okay in the relationship. Now, the problem with that sounds logical, right? The problem with that is that she's thinking the same thing about you. So both people are thinking this wrong and diluted belief that if the other person was to make the changes, all would be right in the world. And so it creates this power struggle. It creates this tension and this conflict inside of a relationship. There's only one way out of that. And the way out of that is to learn how to lead inside your relationship. I'm going to spend a whole video in a minute talking about what exactly leadership is, but I want to tease it up just so you can understand, because leadership, it's not about being the boss. It's not about being in charge. It's not about saying, well, I'm the authority over my wife. It has nothing to do with that. When I talk about leadership, I define leadership in 2 ways. Number one, great leaders take full responsibility for the success or the failure of their relationship. It's that simple. So if my relationship is winning, I get all the praise. If my relationship is losing, I'm totally responsible for that. So great leaders just take full responsibility. I don't blame anybody else. I don't say, well, my relationship failed because of this. No, I take full responsibility for the outcomes. That's the sign of a great leader. That can be applied to business too. The CEO of the company isn't blaming, Johnny on the third floor of the accounting department because the business failed. No, the CEO says, this is my business, and if it doesn't win, it's on me. Same concept in marriage. The second definition of being a leader inside the relationship, great leaders simply do one thing. They bring out the best in other people. They bring out the best in other people. So when my wife is in my presence, I'm always thinking, how can I bring out the best in this other person? If she's stuck or frustrated or upset with me, I'm thinking to myself, I want to bring out the best in her. And I have the skills and the tools and the practical knowledge with the emotional intelligence, knowing how to do that. That's what we teach guys inside Black Belt Husband. We teach guys how to lead, how to bring out the best in other people, and how to take full responsibility for the success of the relationship. Stay tuned for the next video. But before we go there, I just want to remind you, we have to get out of the 50-50 mindset. It will never work in your relationship. There isn't a couples therapist walking the planet that's going to help you resolve that 50-50 mindset. And as long as you stay stuck in that mental loop, believing that if my wife would just do her 50% share of the relationship, all would be right in the world, you are destined to failure. So it's not 50-50, it's 100-0. That's what great leaders do. See you in the next video.